Osiris.
The people what they want. Hey, it's Goose Day Tuesday. Thank you everyone for joining us for the third iteration live on Osiris. My name is Greg Knight. This is my co-host and senior analyst Bruce Robinson.
What?
Bruce, how you be on this glorious Tuesday?
I'd be.
You
We're
be.
here live. I can't say I'm fully alive. Mostly dead inside. But yeah, we had a hell of a weekend, and this is the result.
This is the result. That's right.
We're here. I mean, I haven't worked today yet, so I've just been working on the podcast. So that's a good thing, I guess.
So your hosts took a little field trip to the world of Jamtronica this weekend for a show at the Bowery Ballroom.
Yes, we did.
Caught Space Bacon headlining. Our friends Escaper opened the show. Fantastic evening, but I am in no shape for Jamtronica.
No, we got sizzled a little too much by Space Bacon that night. We actually had a pretty big musical journey that day, with going from McNulty, our buddy Matt McNulty Music, playing at a little bar in Brooklyn, and then went to Bowery, like Greg mentioned, saw Microcave first, actually, Biscuits cover band. I actually turned to McNulty during. I was like, this sounds note for note like the Biscuits. He's like, yeah, it really does. And then that's because they were. I had no idea. And then Escaper Crushed, our buddy Luke Beeman from La Special was sitting in on bass with them. And really, maybe the set of the night. First set of Space Bacon was really good, too. But a long night of music for us, for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it was a good one, though. It's good to be back at Bowery. Last time I was there was the Goose Show in 2020, and
same.
Still feels like they can't really get the heat right in that room.
It's hot. It seems to just be hot. At one point, it was really cold for like a few moments, but maybe that was something.
I think we were outside.
Internally.
I think we were outside.
Maybe we were outside. Oh, could be it. So
it was a good show.
It
was good to be back there.
It was fun to go out. Yeah, and it was a fun day. A lot of music too, which is always nice, A lot of music around locally as well, so we should call some of that out. Billy Strings, who everybody is well aware of, had a successful 4-night run at the Cap that none of us went to. I know Joey wanted to, but he
couldn't get tickets if I wanted.
Yeah, really, exactly. And then our friends Eminence Ensemble, who actually played a late night show after Sculpture Park in Denver, and Greg was there, also performing with them a little bit. They had a few shows actually up here in the Northeast. They're from Texas.
They're from Colorado.
Oh, Colorado, or some of them are from Texas, no? Or they play a lot there. Well, Joey's friends with one of them, right?
We don't have the guy that puts all the facts together, with us.
I know. We can't get Joey out of the corporate prison that he's trapped in right now. One of these days.
We'll just take the Rogan approach and say Eminence Ensembles from Texas.
We should we don't even need to mention that anymore. We're right all the time, actually, which is just good for everybody who's listening to know. I guess a couple other things that we could bring up.
Man, we really sizzled this weekend, huh?
We're still sizzling very hard right now.
Oh man, I feel like I'm speaking Morse code. Yeah.
Oh no. How about Goose News? We do have a little Goose News, right?
Charleston. Back to Charleston. April 27th. Should be a great show. 28th. We're sizzling today. Should be a great show, though. We had a blast last time the band was in Charleston. Really celebratory atmosphere. One of the first kind of big outdoor shows as we were emerging from the pandemic for the first or second time. But really good, their first time in Charleston, a whole lot of love from that community. So I'm excited to get back down there.
Same. That Riverfront Park show was a ton of fun. And Charleston's a cool little city that I had never really spent any time in. Unfortunate that they're just going to have another one night stand there this time around. But I love going down there. I'm definitely going to try to make that trip down, because then the 29th they're playing in North Carolina somewhere, and then they're going to Georgia for Sweetwater. So that'll be a really fun little weekend. I'm definitely going to try to hit those shows. I see somebody in chat mentioned the headgear. Yes, we have some incredible headgear on. Greg's could be in the Goose Hall of Fame one day.
Want to hear a little bit about this?
Yeah,
this is Trevor's headband from Halloween 2019. I think the cover was Semi-Pro, the basketball film featuring Will Ferrell. So obviously Trevor had to let the hair flow on stage. He's not really a headband guy. I put it in my pocket and was saving it for the right time. And the heat in my apartment is out of control.
Yeah, you got to have something to, catch the sweat. I am also very warm right now because, as you can see, I am wearing, Otto sent us some gifts. Otto Art, friend of the podcast, big fan of Goose, sent us some merch gifts. Sent them to me. I have Greg and Joey's. I might just keep their stuff. I didn't look at what it was yet, but we got the Goose Miss jersey going today, and we got the little hockey hat, which is good for me because I'm bald. So everything's working out swimmingly today. You know what else
Shout
we
out
got?
To Otto. Otto's really killing the game. I'm not like a hockey guy at all, but his jerseys are fire.
Another shout out, which we definitely need to mention, is one of our sponsors, because we definitely need to get paid, is this Sunset Lake CBD also sent us care packages. So I'm going to quickly rep some of that stuff to you guys because I love selling out. This is some pre-rolls that they sent us, all very high CBD content. I got some salve that we're going to try out on my mom.
You want to try it out now?
She's my test subject for salves.
Why don't you try the salve for the people?
I will. Oh man. Ooh, it's salvy. If you guys can see what I'm doing with it. Oh my gosh. Yes. I do have a back injury, so it's perfect for that. Ooh, rubbing it on my wrist. Ooh, yeah, it's warm. And then we got some high CBD Hawaiian haze, which is actually super dank looking, bud. We got some CBD oil and some sour bears, which I already had one of. Plus, I had a CBD cap this morning. Tried some of the CBD weed. I am lit on CBD right now, comfortable as hell. So, Sunset Lake CBD. Check them out.
Use the code BEYOND at checkout for 20% off your order.
Oh, right. Is that code still working? Man, fabulous.
Let's hope so.
And then,
or, spending it today.
Also, more merch stuff while we're just crushing this. So stay tuned later for our giveaway this week. We got this sick Rock and Relics hat that he donated to us, brand new. And we have this fresh and baggy Yeti in disguise as a goose, designed by a fan artist, Joe Zocco, a long time ago. He ended up sending me an extra that I had, and it goes with the hat really well. So we're going to be giving that away later. I'll be putting some pictures on our Facebook. I was supposed to do that yesterday, but there's a lot of things I'm supposed to do.
Props to like all the artists too that are creating around this band. I mean,
yeah,
it's so mind blowing to me that at Mohegan we're going to have this fan art like event. Hometown throwdown.
A lot of words.
I
think you got some of them, yeah.
I got, So, I mean, it's going to be incredible. Otto Art will be there, Rock and Relics, a whole bunch of, just incredible artists that have really grown over the years around the band. I've seen Otto really come a long way.
Yep. There's a lot, and there's a lot of good art out there. There's still a lot of people producing a lot of stuff, not just art, merch. A friend of ours, Darian, makes these beautiful knitted hats. I think she may or may not be at that fan art at the end of the month. Obviously, some things got shooken up as the event dates changed, but a lot of people out there. Check out the mini mall, the El Goose mini mall on Facebook. I know Facebook is literal hell, but that group's pretty good. And all the fan artists are selling in there and always throwing up new merch. So definitely check that stuff out and definitely support our fan artists. They're really killing it and have been a big part of advancing Goose's cause for sure.
I mean, yeah, like I wish never mind. I take it back. I'll see you guys all. I'll see you guys all at Goose Miss, and I'm really looking forward to seeing some new stuff from Rock and Relics, and from Otto. I may take up hockey. Bruce, you want to dig into these shows? You want to dig into the Pacific?
I think we're supposed to.
Let's talk about some things we know here. Let's get back on track. Goose, did a run through the Pacific Northwest, first time headlining out there. Seemed like the shows were incredible. Really, really great turnout in Portland, Seattle, Bend.
Yeah.
Am I missing anything? I think that's all of them.
Yeah. Last night in Montana. Yep. Back in Bozeman. So we'll kick it off with our the Midtown Ballroom show that started that Pacific Northwest run on Groundhog Day. First of all, too, I got to mention Andrew Alexander, fan on Goose, really saved our lives. Got some excellent phone streams up on the board for a bunch of these shows. So save my ass so I could listen to some of them before the show today. But also the sight and sound were great in those. So thank you very much, Andrew, and to all of our fans that try to help out streaming when this stingy band does not stream. I think just because I'm getting codes now for this show is why. I think they just do it.
Well, I mean, I've never been that far up in the Pacific Northwest, so I just wasn't sure that they have high-speed internet out there quite yet.
No, who knows? It's a mystifying world to me. I only know the elite coast and this little beautiful pocket of land called New England. That's all I know. So anyway. Yeah,
so Goose opened up this Groundhog's Day show with Tribute to Gold. The first time that appeared, I guess, in the Gooseverse would be the Shenanigans trailer, correct?
Right. Shenanigans theme song, if you will. And then, it's got a great beat. And listening, Rick and Trevor's effects just really combine so nicely for some cool low end. You can really feel. So I really like that opener. And then that funny thing that they did on Groundhog Day, just to open the second set with the same shtick as well, trying to say the same things and then dropping a tribute to Gold was a funny way to kind of call out Groundhog Day. They're not usually funny, so I was surprised.
Right, it's pretty good. They did it well without us.
They're learning from us. Yeah.
The only time Tribute to Gold has been played otherwise was New Haven, maybe Westville. I'm sure Ryan Storm probably knows and will let us know in the chat, but I think that was it. So pretty cool little Groundhog's Day gag for those of you who celebrate. Tribute to Gold followed up by Life on the Shelf. Bruce, what do you think about Life on the Shelf?
Well, as I have written down, it's Peter's emo song. It's grown on me. I mean, most of their songs, every time they seem to release new songs, whether it's been this run where they've released quite a few or just as they've trickled in over the past few years, it's like a lot of them don't, they strike me differently when I hear them at first, and they tend to grow on me. I think this is the best I thought I had heard them play this song as of yet. I think they played it a handful of times. But so, yeah, and it almost sounded like they could have pulled a cool jam out of it, but it was still, they stuck to a pretty standard version with this.
Yeah, I guess, the emo community isn't really known for extended improvisation.
Correct. Yeah, No Rain was awesome. Definitely when I was streaming with a bunch of people on Goose, the crowd, I could notice the crowd was super into it. Everyone on the stream in the chat was into it. And the way they were singing it, man, it was hilarious because you could hear the crowd singing, and definitely not many of them knew the words. And the ones who did knew some of them, but they were trying really hard. It was actually a lot of fun. Could hear Jeff really well too. Jeff sounded also really good. And yeah, it was just such a great jam out of that. Really, really patient. And you could hear a lot of that patience as we go through some of these other shows. You could hear a lot of that patience showing up in a lot of this run. Which definitely sets a different vibe and tone for these guys.
Definitely, for sure. I mean, I think a function of it, is just a lot of the No Rains that they played during the duration of their ascendance, if you will, were shows where they were opening, and so it's like they have these 60-minute opening sets where they'd have to kind of make their statement in the allotted time. And so jams couldn't really get as exploratory as they do now, since they have that freedom of getting on stage late, playing and missing the encore. Time management is a big thing with these guys. But Jive 2, Jive Lee, standard combo to end the set. That was probably the longest set recap we've ever done.
But it was fun.
But it was great.
Fun.
It was great. So let's try and do set 2 here.
I learned how Bluetooth worked during that.
Thing of Gold, Groundhog's Day. We mentioned it. Silver Rising. Let's talk about Silver Rising. Teen Wolf vibes for me.
Yeah, that's pretty good because I didn't know exactly how to place this when I was writing up the notes. But yeah, I just thought, like I said, like a pretty song, with soft vocals. Definitely a little bit slower, but it was also a good song. I think, one of the fan favorites from some of the new songs, at least from some of the feedback that I've been hearing. And I definitely kind of feel that way. I think a good set opener, which even though they did the Tribute to Gold gag, I think it still kind of sat in that opening spot. So good set opener, and definitely looking forward to hearing it come up more throughout the year. I think there's a lot of good stuff that's going to come out of that.
Definitely. And then second set, favorite jam vehicle, Creatures, follows up Silver Rising. I mean, always gets it hype.
Love Creatures.
What more can I say? But I also a huge fan of Green River. I just really, really get down when I hear that tune. Not really sure what it is. Maybe it's just that Rick delivers the song really well, but it's just, gets the energy up for me.
It's a great blues rock tune, and it hits. And some guy in the phone stream just yelled, "Yeah, fuck yeah," as soon as it started. And I was like, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. I do love this song, man. It's one of my favorite memories is at that Albany show in 2019 when they ripped into it. I just started freaking out because I hadn't heard it in a while. And it's definitely always been one of my favorite covers.
Yeah. I think my favorite Green River was the one they did in Mexico. They played some really well-placed covers that weekend, and I think it was a smart move to play a CCR song, for that crowd, and people were digging it. 726, fan favorite, followed up Green River, smooth. Bruce is a huge smooth jazz guy, so I think although it's not a jazz song, 726 definitely has the smooth vibes.
Smooth jazz is all I need, really, to listen to personally. But yeah, it's not for everybody, but it's definitely for me.
Enough likes, and we'll maybe get Bruce to release his smooth jazz playlist if we're lucky. Drive to close out the set. And
a short drive, a 5-minute drive. Yeah, short jaunt. Yeah, just to the convenience store, and then
time management,
and then a very tight time to flee for encore. Definitely feels a little bit like time management there.
For sure.
We'll let that go.
We'll talk to Coach. So let's move forward and maybe efficiently get through a recap of Portland.
Oh wait, I can't hear you, Greg. I can't hear. Oh, just kidding. Huh?
Nice, dude. So Portland, Bruce, did you Mixler this show, or did you watch a stream in El Goose?
There were actually two, and I just started on the MixLR and then went to El Goose and noticed there was the phone stream from Andrew, and actually the sound for the phone stream for me was better, so I switched.
Is it MixLR? It's not Mixler?
I have no idea how to pronounce these things, just like LiveX Live or whatever. I'm glad they're changing their name because I have no idea what that is. Live by Live, LiveX Live, LiveX Live. I don't know.
Yeah. Live times live, I think.
Live by, yeah. Okay.
All right, we're gonna do this here. Wonder Ballroom, Echo of a Rose, high energy Echo. I like how they've worked through this song and really changed the arrangement from what was a standard jam, something a little bit complex and energetic.
Yeah. And also that there was, so the fast version has grown on me too. Like I always mention all these things growing on me, but the fast version, the first time we heard it was in Austin or whatever. And I didn't love it. It felt almost kind of forced. And since then they played some killer versions of that in Denver at the Mission was awesome. And then this version, I joined the MixLR late and was during the jam. And just I couldn't really tell what song it even was. Had asked the people in the chat. When I heard it was the Echo, I was like, "Oh my god, yeah!" So I could kind of hear that. But killer jam, and moved pretty flawlessly into the Whales after that.
Yeah, love the Whales. I really really like the Whales. I'm not sure what it is.
Another Peter song, and it's just kind of like a classic Rocky kind of song, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I was a big Free Willy fan when I was a kid.
Who was
Free Willy?
Yeah.
So maybe that's it. I think of my boy William in the sea.
Yeah.
And I hear the whales. But smooth
Williams
transition. Yeah. Williams journey. So followed up by Dr. Darkness. Bruce, thoughts?
I think it could be maybe my favorite new song. As each kind of one of these songs, they play it again, and I hear it again, and it sounds better or different or whatever. That's going to probably change. But I think from having heard them all the very first time when they were opening those second sets with them to begin this tour, I think Dr. Darkness I kind of walked away with maybe liking the most, Some people had mentioned it's got a House of Rising Sun kind of vibe to it. I just really like that. But
nice. Yeah. I thought the whole song was written about you.
People have said that, it's just the people that I've really sprung up on with a ton of CBD. They've been like, "Oh, Dr. Darkness."
Yeah, got Dr. Darkness' CBD stat.
My inflammation is down. Thank you. So.
Travelers next. Always awesome. I really, really enjoy listening to Travelers in any circumstance. I think there's a lot of complexity to that song that's not immediately recognized. It's got. Definitely. And, the composed sections are incredibly polyrhythmic. And although there's not a lot of kind of deviation from song structure, I think it's one of Rick's most expressive performances.
Yeah, I really love this song, and I know it's like part one of this Elmeg suite. And there are similarities between the songs, but I kind of put it up there with Elmeg. I kind of love hearing both of them in different ways, and they kind of fill the same void in a set list. So Traveler's always good. But what was really good was then they had this rough, I laughed at the transition because I was like, oof, because they transitioned back into like the second half of Echo there, the singing portion. But then, man, they just got right back into it, and they had that awesome jam that I came into the show with the Fast Echo, and then they had an even better jam coming out of this second half of it, like a spookier kind of grimy jam. It was sick. It was awesome. Definitely one of the highlights for me.
Really, I'm glad they were able to kind of pull it together after that transition. That was a little bit surprising, just a crash landing back into Echo. But either way, redemption was found in Bob Don to close the set. I mean, we know the song slaps, hits hard, Rick solos, da-da-da, set 2 opener, Rockdale. What do you got?
Yeah, this show was already so good from set 1. Really loved what they were coming with and how they constructed that set, and then Rockdale to kick off set 2 is awesome. I mean, this is a new song that pretty much everybody loves. Was played by Basuto first at Fred Fest, but it's just like one of the top songs in their catalog. Quickly got there, I think, and did for me too. Like up there with all of their hits. So everybody loves to hear this one. I don't think there's a bad spot you can put it in a show, but to kick off the second set with it is really nice.
Good move, for sure. Next up is Rosewood Heart. You can check this video out on YouTube. I believe it's been released already. I love Rosewood. It doesn't get enough respect around these parts, specifically in the Jam of the Year bracket hosted by Jive Goose and Ryan Storm.
Yes.
My Rosewood was knocked out, but I love it. Check it out on YouTube. Excellent kind of key and guitar interplay between Peter and Rick, and I like that this one doesn't really also deviate from structure. It's more about locking into a groove and just riding it. And they did it well. Did it pretty well.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Welcome to Delta. Good to see it back in set lists. It was kind of unfortunately debuted right as the Delta variant was sweeping the nation. But it's good to be back. Yeah, can't wait for the next single, Hello Omicron. This was like it was good to see it back. Really slick kind of ending to Rosewood. Any thoughts, or are you more of a?
I don't know. I was a little confused. John had it noted as like a jam on the set list and on his coach's notes, and then like a Welcome to Delta jam was the subnotation. So I don't know if that's kind of just how they're considering it anyway. It might just be a named kind of jam, like loose ends kind of thing. But either way, I threw it on as Welcome to Delta. I mean, either way, it was maybe the highlight of the show for me, in a show that already has had a lot of highlights up to this point. I thought that jam was also killer to follow up a killer Rosewood jam. So keeping the momentum going. Plus the show was pretty high energy throughout. Cause then even they went into Indian River after that. And that was one of the faster, kind of the original style.
I like the OG style. Like I like the Moon Cabin style of Indian River. I mean, it's cool to see how it's evolved, and it can certainly be a beautiful, evocative ballad. But I like that little reggae bite that they used to have back in the day.
Oh yeah, definitely. And you get more of that with the Pseudo from that first album called Lewis. If you haven't listened to it, definitely check it out. But that's really where they kind of harnessed and put in a lot of some of that kind of reggae-ish vibe that they used to play with a lot as with Pseudo and even Goose. You can hear that influence in a lot of the songs. And then Pancakes, flapping the jacks.
Yeah. Let us know in the chat, pancakes or waffles, and why? Pancakes,
waffles.
Well, let us know in the chat, folks.
I'm not in the chat. That's right.
Right. I mean, I'm a waffle guy too. Huge waffle guy. But let us know in the chat. I want to hear what you all think. This is not a Goose podcast. This is a breakfast podcast. Encore, white lights into Shamalama Ding Dong. Boom, boom, bang, bang. Efficient ending. Bang, bang. I probably would have been a little bit off put by a white lights Shamalama if they weren't playing the second night. But they were back for another night and started out strong with a Slow Ready.
Unfinished Slow Ready. Then kind of just moved right into, before the second half of Slow Ready, into SOS. Another new fan favorite that's it's been around. But now that it's got the spotlight with the new album, people really love this song and love what they think is a song, Dawn, which came after this, which is part of Same Old Shenanigans.
Just like playing games with us, because sometimes he mentions Dawn, sometimes he doesn't.
Playing games with us, playing games with the poor fans. They're very confused. I'm not confused because we can just say anything authoritatively on here and be correct. So that is just part of the song, people. But yeah, so that was also a good section. Can never go wrong with SOS and Dawn. And then jumping right into EOA, which EOA has been getting a lot of play since really last year.
I rapped on it. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Since he rapped on it. That's right. I keep forgetting that.
Yeah. I mean, I imagine that like people are just so excited every time again they there. Really cool. I'm sure it was pretty good. Could have been better.
Well, they don't do the call outs really much anymore. At least I haven't seen, maybe like one kind of subtle one in there. But they haven't been doing that. But that's produced. I never minded that. People didn't like that. I thought that was pretty fun.
Right. Yeah. Someone was like, I saw some criticism that like turn-based soloing means they're an elementary band. And it's like, damn, can anyone have fun anymore?
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, it's a fun song. It's obviously not meant to be, some grand like Vivaldi composition here. It's just, it's just a funky song to dance to, and it's great for that. But some of these ones without the no call outs have been, really, really fun. The one from Denver was sick. Recently, Mission, and I thought this one was good. It was kind of more. It was a shorter one though. They kept it kind of tight, all things considered. But then they took out Atlas Dogs for a walk after this. That was a song that I was a little on the fence about as far as the new songs went from the first listen. I kind of was in a minority, I think, on that. With this one, that's also grown out of me, and the jam in this version of it is sick. I thought this Atlas Dogs was absolutely sick.
Yeah, I mean, the cool thing about these new debuts, really for all of tour so far, is I hear the band hadn't been rehearsing them a bunch prior to tour. So every single one of these performances is kind of like a blank canvas, right? There's no expectation for where the jam should go. And so you're really getting this kind of authentic exploration from the guys. So I look forward to the songs taking shape, but I think each time we hear them, it's, they're going to really mess with how they sound. And so it'll be cool to see this evolution.
And Neil mentioned, because I even had something similar to this written in my notes, but Alice Dog was fast. It does kind of have, it's like, it kind of starts off, it feels like there's some energy with that drum beat behind it. And it's kind of like a slower lyrical part. So it's got an interesting feeling during that section. But yeah, then Ben just kept that beat up during the jam, and it was really it was interesting. It sounded a little bit different than some of the jams that they tend to do, and any of those longer, faster paced jams that they pull out. So it's cool. Atlas Saw is in this sense, in its structure, just lends itself to having something of a more interesting, unique kind of jam coming out of that. So looking forward to seeing that one a lot. Oh, we see Matt McNulty's on the stream. Called him out before. Hi, Matt.
Hey, McNulty.
Thank you, everybody.
We just ran through the story of Space Bacon.
One feel from Amy. I could kind of hear that too. Definitely the Dead's other one. But then, so after Atlas Dogs, one of my favorite covers, I think, of theirs, Inside Out by Spoon, to close out the set.
Yeah, fantastic cover. Always good. Set 2 opens with Arrow. Always love that placement. I think the first time Arrow was ever played by the band was at Music Hall of Williamsburg, and I think it was a second set opener then.
Oh my God, dude.
Like everything we're saying.
We are still having audio issues over here, people.
Oh, really? Bruce can't hear me. Okay, so
I'm gonna fix this right now.
No big deal. I got this, guys. I'm going solo, and I am now a senior analyst. Redbird to follow up Arrow. Not as exploratory as the first one, but I think the song is coming along. Kind of like a split reaction to Redbird in El Goose. Some people love it. Some people think it needs some time. But fan favorite Flow Down followed up. Really, really smooth segue. Love Flow Down. Everybody got down. Love it every single time. Turn Clouds. We talked about it last week, but I think Turn Clouds still doesn't have its perfect placement in the Goose catalog dimensionally. I'm not sure if I like it more first set or second set. Let me know in the chat what y'all think. First set, second set, or encore for Turn Clouds. Just wondering what your preferences are. But followed up by Arcadia.
Questions. So
hey, Bruce.
Add off.
Bruce, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm glad you got the Ferrari out of the garage and broke out those different headphones.
Yeah, you see these things?
I don't know if you're running audio through your mic, provided so graciously by the Osiris Network. Thank you, folks. We're making great use of what you sent us. Bruce, maybe just see if you can get the mic rolling.
We got it.
Close out this show. Here he is.
We got it.
This is IT professional Bruce Robinson.
Yo, thank God I got mad IT equipment up in this. This is what happens, dude. No, I didn't want to do the mic. Yeah, see, no, I didn't want to do the mic through the headset because we got to use we got sponsored mics here. It's tight. Sure. Mm-hmm. Good audio.
Yep.
This is just for shit meetings at work, which I continue to skip because of the podcast. So hopefully they don't ever watch this.
Encore.
All right.
Slow Ready. 2/4/22. Slow Ready. People love it. I am team So Ready all day till I die. If you want to talk about it, I'll take all the smoke on Twitter. Been So Ready since day one. But for those of you who are into that kind of thing, sounds like a great way to close the show if that's what you like.
I'm a Slow Ready guy. I'm also a huge CBD guy. So it's, just slowed me down a bit. Not only today, but
nice.
Often. Yeah.
We're gonna work on that because I am so ready for some Sunset Lake CBD. Let's talk Seattle. February 5th, Neptune Theater. Butter Rum opener.
The only show the band streamed.
The only show the band streamed of this leg.
God forbid I get free stream codes.
Hopefully we'll be able to provide some valuable analysis for the first time today. Butter Rum opener. Love Butter Rum openers. Good to hear from Ben Atkind, and just the Hey Butter Rum chant.
Yeah,
Complex.
And plus
good to hear his voice.
This one felt a little subdued too, kind of cool, had a cool vibe. I noticed right away. Also noticed that Peter's trying to grow a little facial hair again. He's getting a little patch going. So wondering if that means a mustache is coming back for spring and summer, feeling his oats, feeling his oat milk. He
switched up the oat milk and it's coming in fast. Yeah. I think Seattle, cold, foggy. The guys were trying to channel a tropical vibe. They followed Butter Rum with Your Ocean. Love Your Ocean. Early, like kind of an early appearance for the song itself, but alas, it was sandwiched in between Butter Rum and Hot Tea. So I don't remember the last time Hot Tea appeared this early in a set list, but
definitely out of the ordinary. Yeah, definitely out of the ordinary. Already this set felt kind of out of the ordinary because, like you mentioned, Your Ocean in an interesting spot. Butter Rum to open is rare. And at least especially these days. And Hot Tea in this spot is rare, or maybe never really in something like this. But the vibe throughout kept up. It's like kind of this subtle energy over some vibey tracks. And then Hot Tea was slowed down a bit too. And it was really patient. Pete had this sick vibey synth effect that was like really heavy on the keys. And then after the crowd part of the chorus, they did the main part of the song and then go into the jam, and Rick and Peter were really like, they just locked in on this really minimalist kind of groove, really, really funky. Still a lot of that synth effect going on. And I really loved it. It was definitely some Hot Tea.
Nice.
Yeah. You like that one? Yeah, you like that one? Done. I needed to get the audio straight for that. I needed to make sure I could deliver.
Well, Bruce, you must be born for podcasting, which happened to be the next song. Really liking how Born is coming into its own. The jams have been excellent this tour. Like, they took it pretty far, teased 2001 a little bit, always good, high octane, and then brought things down a little bit with Honeybee, Coach on Rainstick.
Yeah. And like, we have a commenter, Rasa said lots of house party vibes throughout. Absolutely felt that way. Absolutely felt that way through the Hot Tea jam, through the Born jam, which was also sick. I was stunned at how also a minimalist kind of jam, but really up-tempo, high energy, into that Honeybee, like you mentioned, which just kind of flowed. When I was listening, I almost forgot right after, once they got into Fish in the Sea, what song they had just played before that. It just kind of all had been blending together really nicely. And then, after Honeybee, another great Peter song, into Fish in the Sea, another great cover. What an awesome first set. I would have loved to be there for that first set. Yeah.
I know it caught a little bit of criticism on Twitter. And
did it?
Yeah, it did. I mean, but nobody's ever happy with anything, so whatever.
Twitter's a hateful place, except for the Goose community on Twitter. Shout out to Jive and
Ryan. But yeah, I definitely got a little criticism I saw, but I like this set list on paper. I think it's a cool kind of vibey thing that allows the band to show off what they can do, and it's not just shreddy. Although set 2 did open up with Yeti.
Shreddy Yeti. But yeah, another good one. I always love the jams out of Yeti. Kind of like the jams out of Creatures. Like, you're almost expecting and to get this like really cool dance jam out of that. So it was a good Yeti. I don't think it was any one of their greatest ones, but it was really good. And then for me to transition into the Mist was gorgeous. Like, just absolutely gorgeous, smooth, really patient. You could start hearing the opening notes from Mist, kind of while they were still like slowing down the Yeti jam and then building back into Mist. So it was like, it was really awesome. That segue definitely made up for the funny Fast Echo segue.
Absolutely. Yeah, I really love segue into Mist. I mean, they've been doing it really well for years and years. If you hit it right, it is just a great way to transition. And Mist has turned into a pretty considerable jam monster over the past few years. They really have gone deep. I'd say ever since probably 2019, most Mists have been really, really strong.
Yeah. And Mist is always one of my favorites too. It's always been one of my favorite Goose songs. Shout out to Angela. Disco Mist is always one of the best things. So can never go wrong with that. Old Man's Boat, another one like of these new songs that I wasn't struck so much by it at first. I think that was at T5 when we first heard that. And was it
48?
Right? I wasn't at 48, but I don't know.
Neither was
I. I can't remember. But at least the first time I heard it, definitely I think was T5. And I know some other people loved it then too. I think they had a cool jam out of it then. I guess at the show though, I just didn't, I was trying to assess it maybe and just didn't catch everything from it. But on these re-listens and like on this Old Man's Boat, really good. Also really great Gong Gang shout out between the songs after Old Man's Boat.
Of course.
Shout out to
a lot
Gong
of love
Gang.
for Gong Gang
Neil out here
these days. Yeah, and Jeff,
as appropriate.
Jeff's been really using that gong. Like I saw a few shots of him punching the gong, really
really,
raising the hand and signaling the gang. So shout out to
teaching it a lesson. Yeah,
all those gang members. Gong Gang is rolling pretty strong.
GG for life.
Jeff Engborg.
I could not. I could not.
All right, let's
believe
explain who Jeff is. Bruce, can you explain to our kind listeners who are really sticking with us today who Jeff is in the context of the Gooseverse?
So Jeff is actually another really fantastic musician and keyboard player from Wilton, who also grew up in Wilton, kind of around the same age as the Goose guys. And he also had a band. I think that maybe had made an appearance at an early Goose Miss.
So he definitely played with Talkpeck Sound System.
Yeah, and I had
Wall Street Theater. But then he did have
Goose
Booty
Miss
Borg
in 2019. Too. Yeah,
right.
He did have Booty Borg, and so Jeff was really like another one of these kids like Rick when years ago that. And I was a little bit older that I would hear about him and be like, yo, you got to hear this prodigy on guitar. You got to hear this kid play keys. And Jeff was one of them, and so Great Blue apparently had written a song probably in conjunction with Jeff called Jeff Engborg. And I haven't heard this song in so long, kind of forgot it existed. Have heard it in the past, but like, it's just a really interesting kind of track.
Yep.
It has a lot of fun, like funky, upbeat, dancey segments that really, really like Trevor and Rick and Peter really shine on those. And then it just all of a sudden like hits this little jazz segment that they kind of rerun over this theme in that jazz segment a number of times. And it almost like not lulls you to sleep in a bad way, but kind of like gets you into this whole different vibe. And then they just drop right back into the cool funk jams that they were going through before that. Right. And this one had a special mini mall rap in there too, which we haven't heard in a very long time.
Yeah, it's been a minute since last mini mall. Love it. Love that it's back.
Yeah. And then and then after the mini mall rap, they kind of jammed out a little bit and it sounded almost like another part of the Hot Tea Jam from before. So that was very cool. And then you get the one last lick of the song right before a quick outro, and that's that. But that was a very cool bust out. I'm stunned that they decided to play that.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, I think I'm still in awe, and maybe I didn't even really realize how significant this was. Funny enough, if you go back to scroll back on r/Goose the Band, the Goose the Band subreddit, somebody started a thread maybe a year ago speculating that the band may cover Jeff Engborg. And I love when those things come true on Reddit. Like, it's so cool to look back and see that stuff. I didn't think it would ever happen, but really awesome. And just shout out to Jeff for being an awesome person and an even better musician. Seekers 1 and 2.
Quick shout out to Kieran on the chat, said Engborg slays. Yep, I'm sure Kieran's probably played with him before as well.
Of Residual Groove and Chris.
Yep. Also a great musician, so go see them if you're ever in our local area up here in Connecticut. But yeah, and also shout out to Joe Caruso, manages the Goose subreddit, and also the editor of El Goose Times. I just wanted to say a quick shout out to them. I saw him on the chat before there. But yeah, then going into Seekers.
Seekers 1 and 2. Standard. Boom, boom.
Bing, bang.
Nothing like wildly impressive about these, but great package of 2 songs. I love the story. Yeah. And Empress, to close the second set. Good Empress. Probably not as strong as San Francisco. I feel like that San Francisco Empress was really special, and Trevor was pretty aerodynamic in that beater he had on. So,
as he can be, yeah. Letting the arms fly free,
Yeah, like taking the guns out. And then Don't Do an Encore. Really happy to see Don't Do It. They teased it during maybe Drive 2 in San Fran, or maybe it was during Empress in San Fran, I think. So good to see that they let it rip. Love a Goose. Don't Do It.
Yeah, definitely love it. I think a good show closer too. I almost wanted to say it reminds me a little bit of like a Loving Cup closer, but better, obviously. But yeah, and then so now on to the last show that was just last night. I don't know if anybody streamed this show.
No, Justin Seidel did a couple songs. Thank you, Justin, but nobody did a full stream for us. Again, I have never been to Bozeman, so speculation. Who knows if they have more than 56K internet? That's what I guess.
Yeah, but a couple cool things to note from this show. Even though we didn't listen, we got a Walcott. Second spot in set 1 after Jive 1. So that's pretty sweet. I'm interested to hear how that sounded. A second time with Silver Rising. Your favorite track to hear every other show, All I Need.
Oh my God.
And then a Doc Brown. So, still it sounds like a good set 1. Be interested to hear what that sounds like.
If anyone in the chat was able to stream or knows of a taper recording and would be so kind as to drop that in so we can share, we'd love to listen back. I only heard kind of clips from people's videos in El Goose. So we're just going to let's just speculate on how the whole show was.
Well, we also got, so Garth, what's up, Garth, man? He said he had a buddy go, said it was full throttle all night. I could see that. See how they play out some of those songs, but I could see they could keep the energy up. All I Need was apparently 20 minutes or so. Thanks, Ryan. Okay.
Thank you, Ryan. Do we know if it was a fast need or a slow need?
Oh, good question. Probably a freaking slow need because that's like all they play. When's the only fast need that we got was a T5, right?
I just generally just stop listening when the song starts at this point. So I've had All I Need. Doc Brown to close set 1. Thanks, Noah. It was a slow need. Doc Brown is a set closer. It's good to see Doc Brown back in the rotation a little bit more. I've always liked it. I think really good energy. And I love to see Peter play guitar solos too. He's come so far on keys, so we forget that the kid can shred.
Really got a lot of Peter songs coming out and into the regular rotation now, whereas they were getting kind of trickled in for a while. Now it almost feels like we're getting just as many Peter songs to our Rick these days. Speaking of kicking off set 2 with Elizabeth, which I always love Elizabeth. Would like to hear that. I'd like to hear this whole set too, because this set 2 is funny too. You got 2 TED Tapes tracks on here. So we got Elizabeth, Moby, your preferred version.
Ready. Yeah. So ready.
Cross-eyed.
Cross-eyed is back, which I can only imagine. That 1-2 punch seems like a whole bunch of energy. If I recall correctly, there was a So Ready into Cross-eyed in Colorado, summer 2019, maybe.
I wasn't able to make those earlier Colorado shows.
I think it was like,
I can't remember.
I think it was the summer shows, but who knows? Could be wrong. It could have been Creatures.
It could have been. Yeah, could have
been. The video exists somewhere.
Yeah, there's also a video, I believe, of that show. A fan favorite video. Our buddy Nate on El Goose doing a show review. It's pretty good. It's worth checking out.
Nate Camilio's show review is one of the most legendary. Huge thank you to the Osiris Network for giving us this platform to speculate on shows we haven't heard yet.
I love it.
It was a great show.
But dude, then you got that. Dragonfly before that,
yep.
yeah. So that's where you get the 2 TED Tape songs in the set, which I don't think we've seen that before. But that so far, Elizabeth Moby, So Ready, Cross-eyed, and Dragonfly, very cool. And then they jump into this old C to close out the set, which I think some people question. It sounded short. So, and I saw on Twitter that someone had heard the band may have ran out of time, which surprise.
Yep.
Also, Setlist is Written didn't have Cross-Eyed on it, apparently, but had Madhavan into Weird Fishes back into Madhavan. So that could be coming up soon for anybody seeing one of these upcoming shows, and that could be very cool. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully they do bust something out like that.
This is great. I can't wait to figure out what actually happened last night.
I know it's going to be, these show recaps will be great when they stream the freaking show. God.
And allegedly there was an encore, which was Escape, the Pina Colada song. Personal favorite cover of mine. It's one of my few songs I use as like the litmus test for how far Peter's come on keys. If you listen to early versions of Escape, his solos were a little bit rudimentary, but these days the man's ripping it up. It's like he has 6 hands. So love to hear him on Escape. And
Ryan mentioned that the Jam can get there. I was just thinking to say that because, like, yes, they have some actually pretty good versions of Escape out there. A lot of people, maybe have mixed feelings about the song. They got a lot of good versions out there of that now. So definitely worth checking out. We also got somebody else looking forward to that Madam on Weird Fishes. So I hope it happens in Minneapolis for the people. For the people. Okay, so we managed to get through that without me losing audio more than a handful of times. So
that was really good. That was absolutely solid. Some of our best work.
Really solid.
This week we've got a few more shows. I think it's 4 more shows on this leg of tour. So the band will be at First Avenue in Minneapolis tomorrow night.
Sizzling space bacon.
Thursday night at the Sylvia in Madison, Wisconsin. Friday, Louisville, Kentucky, Old Foresters, Paris Town Hall. Saturday, wrapping up this leg of tour at Stage AE in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Awesome.
One thing to say, anybody going to those to the Louisville show, there is also Joey's going to be out there. I think he's maybe doing something after the show and
after Louisville, right?
Yeah, and then the next night, he's going to be in Louisville with a local band. Bunch of good big fans of Goose. Also, these guys, Houseplant. I've heard really huge things about. Yeah, good things about them. So definitely check out Dowie and Houseplant if you're going to be staying in Louisville for that extra day. Got a lot of friends going to Pittsburgh too. I wish I could make some of these shows because I think they're going to be wrapping up this leg of this tour, with some good stuff. So, stay tuned for our recaps of those. Hopefully we'll listen to them.
Hopefully we'll hear the show. Hopefully we'll hear the shows before I recap next week.
At least a piece of them. Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, we'll try to hear a song or two. And then the guys have 2 weeks off, and we've got Goose Miss February 26th at Mohegan Sun Arena. So excited for Goose Miss in February.
Looking forward to that. So Greg, do we have a giveaway for the people that
we do have a giveaway
around with us through all of the audio complications?
Thank you to all of you soldiers out there who stuck with us today. We sure do have a giveaway. Bruce, what do we got today?
So like I showed at the beginning of the show, we got an awesome Arcadia hat from Rock and Relics, brand new, sings fire. And we also have a pin by a fan artist, Joe Zocco. This is a classic design. He also made stickers. It's of a Yeti disguised as a goose. I was going to use this for Halloween because it seems simple. But I just dressed up in Goosebumps gear because I am a degenerate. And and so that's what we're giving away. What's the email, Noah? That might be too easy if we give you the email.
Okay. So I'll post the email in the chat. I want to make this all fair since we had a lot of complaints last week about our process with giveaways.
We're not transparent at TGB. Let me just tell you that straight up.
Not at all.
We burn any documents or storm at Mar-a-Lago. And, with all this CBD, sometimes I just misplace them as well.
CBD is really going to your brain, man. greatbeyondpodcast@gmail.com. greatbeyondpodcast@gmail.com. So as we mentioned, Joey Parisi is not with us today. So if he were, he would have prepared a trivia question, but instead I'm going to have to send it. So unless Bruce, you have a trivia question prepared.
Yeah. How many milligrams of CBD has Bruce already taken today?
We can't count that high at all. All right. So this trivia question is going to dig a little bit deep into the band's history, the long storied history of the band. Okay, so there are two prominent Goose fans who have been around the band for years, really instrumental supporters in the band's growth.
Us?
And these two got married on the same day as Goose's first show. Email greatbeyondpodcast@gmail.com the name of the bride and groom who got married the day of Goose's first show. Two of the biggest fans in the Gooseiverse.
But they're wrong a lot. They don't like This Old Sea. They don't understand the beauty and majesty of This Old Sea. So that's another clue for all of you out there.
So Bruce, while I fire up our email, why don't you share a fun story about our friends who are the subject of this trivia question?
Well, one of the funny things about our friend's wedding on this day, and of course they didn't know Goose then, but they had an Airbnb or a house or something like that for the wedding party and for their after party or whatever. And there was like this huge wooden goose at this house that they ended up taking tons of photos with, like drinking out of, which is appropriate. And, so it's kind of, there's another lead in too, if any of those pictures ever have popped up on socials, but, yeah, it was really funny. So when they told us a story and then that there was this whole huge wooden goose, and it was just kind of mind boggling, because then they found the band, I believe in 2018 and had, have been huge supporters, ever since. Good friends with the guys, are good friends as well. So yeah, this is good trivia question on the fly. Very random.
Good. I mean, good friends of the band or arch nemesis. We're not sure. We love these two, and I'm so glad to have met the two of them through the band. So, Bruce, the one thing I'm doing right now is I am trying to remember the password for our podcast email. So as
probably somebody hacked it, now that we're getting CBD, somebody hacked that.
As I do that, do you want to fill the people in on tomorrow's episode?
Oh shit. Yeah. God, we have so many of these episodes. I can't even remember what's going on. We're actually making episodes now. But yeah, we have another episode, regular episode, that we recorded Sunday coming out tomorrow. We are interviewing two huge fans. Ryan heard it's a fantastic episode. I hope so. We're interviewing Ryan Storm and Jive Goose, kind of representing the Jam of the Year bracket and going into some of the process and methodology behind that. Talking a little bit about some of the matchups. So, and we talk a little bit about some upcoming festivals going on this year. So definitely take a listen. That'll be released tomorrow morning, I believe. And you should see that pop up anywhere you get your podcasts. Or thanks, CBD. Bruce. We should start selling bootlegs from CBD stores and stuff.
Thanks, Bruce. We'll like move that conversation to our meeting offline. I am in our email, and nobody has...
Oh, we got in.
Yeah, we're in. So nobody has answered correctly quite yet, with the exception of our manager, who emailed me from the other room. Our manager is not eligible for the prizes. So open season still. I can give y'all a hint. These two...
What other hints? Oh, you
battled for first place in the second season of Fantasy Goose.
Oh, is that public record?
That is public record. Yeah, I mean, let's see. Another clue. These two are big fans of Humphreys, and they go to holidays.
Wow, giving up a lot of personal information about the two of them now.
Man, I guess all the old Goose fans have been sick of us for years and actually aren't listening to us today.
No, they don't. No, they've heard enough
that makes sense.
of us already. Yeah,
we've
same with
certainly
most of our
exhausted
friends. This is why we need all of you listeners, because our friends don't want to hear us anymore, especially me. But they just need CBD is the problem. That's the problem. They're not hearing what I'm hearing, which is just the beautiful sounds of serenity.
Excellent, Bruce. Thank you. Well, we almost have a winner. Ruthie Perlman is close, but we need the bride and the groom. So
I want to remind everyone in the chat to email the answer. It's really hard. We're not techies, obviously, as you could tell from the audio issues.
We have a winner.
Oh, we have
a winner.
Bang, bang.
Oh, boy. You know what? And this is a winner by 20 seconds. Noah Ray is correct. Angela and Eric Lindsay. Two great friends and fans from Michigan. Noah, you edged out Neil Landry by about 20 seconds. So congratulations, Noah. Email us your address and we'll get this sent out to you. Rock and Relics gear. And obviously check out Rock and Relics through the Goose Mini Mall or through Rock and Relics website. Whole bunch of really, really cool fan merch. I was rocking my Jive 2 crew neck today. Bruce, I think we did enough damage here. And we have, plenty of edits for this audio. So
snip, cut it up.
Snip, snip. So yeah, we're back tomorrow with a new episode that we prepared for and recorded in the studio. So should be quality.
No audio issues.
No audio
sound
issues.
Engineer for the studio, so and I got to charge these Bluetooth headphones. Dre let me down today, so
we've got a lot to talk about. We'll be back live next week to recap the end of this leg of Winter Tour. But for now, Bruce and I are gonna take a nap and remind Joey to prepare for us a little bit more. Thank you guys all for tuning in. We have a big giveaway coming next week.
I'm about to dump a bunch of this CBD oil in my mouth.
Join us for that. And check out Sunset Lake CBD. Thank you to Osiris. I hope you guys still trust us. That's all I got.
I think we're out. Yeah, we'll do better next time. All right, see you, everybody. Thanks for hanging with us.
Catch a ride with us next time down the pathway to the great beyond.
Osiris.